Nesachta bava basra daf lamed gimel amud aleph. We're starting from lamed beis. 4 lines from the bottom. We're talking about how a person could be koine the karka with a chazaka, even if he doesn't have a shtar, meaning that he has a chazaka, will be a chazaka. Not all the time will the chazaka help. There has to be a chazaka with sheishim taina. It has to be a chazaka that there's no macha against it. Okay. Rabbi Bashashoim. Rabbi Bashashoim, nothing alei kol. A kol went out. The ka'achol out of the yasmi. That he's eating from the fields of Yisayim. The case was over here. Rabbi Bashashoim lent money to the Yisayim's father, and he had a deal with them that he takes the karka. 4 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Bashashoim, and he would use the produce of the karka and deduct every year. Lawful, if it was $1,000, he would take $100 of proceeds from the property every year till he deducted throughout the 10 years the whole amount, and then give back the karka. That was called mashkanta de Suda. Mashkanta de Suda. That's how they did it in the city of Suda. So what happened was nafka leikola, a kol went out, the ka'achol out of the yasmin. Yeah, that's not mashkanta. So he says over here. So what happened? He told him. So people were saying, "Hey, listen, you used it up. You paid it. The father paid up the chayv to you using the karka for all the years. Give them back the karka. Why are you using the Yisayim's karka? The way this that said that he was using the karka that belongs to Yisayim, it was all paid up already. He used it. He took the father's karka. That was the deal. And in the surah, Zazeh Yivan, it was called mashkanta the surah. That what they would lend money, take the karka as a mashkin, and use the produce of the karka till it paid up the chayv. It was paid off. Why is he still using karka? Amalei Abaya, Emily easy. Easy. So there's the Rajbam says easy means my friend. Others say that easy means tell me now. So Abaya told Rabbi Shumsha, tell me now. Tell me exactly the story. I want to know what happened. So he says, Ara b'mashkunta hava nakitna ma'avoin de yasme. Like I told you before, that the father, he lent their father money, and the father gave them karka to use the karka, the produce of the karka to deduct from the chayv till it's all paid up, and then he gives back the karka. So he says, V'havali zuzi achrini gabei. Besides that chayv, I had another chayv that he had to pay, but that second chayv, I didn't make the deal that I can use his karka. It had nothing to do with a mashkin. V'achalte shnei mashkanta, I ate up from the first chayv, the years of the mashkin. It's all paid up. But, I said to myself, look, ima hadana lo ara liyasmi. If I'm now going to return the land to the Yisraelim, no. So v'amina the isle zuzi achrina gabe davriche, and I'll tell him, listen, but I have another chayv that your father owes me. Take wasn't part of the deal, but he says I want. He'll tell him you owe me money.
He has no proof.
No, he might have proof, but it wasn't together. It wasn't the deal. Wasn't the mashkin.
Yeah,
But they could tie that it was paid up. There's no proof that he still owes, even though he has a shtar. We'll soon say that. Amar Rabbanan, the Chachamim had said, Haba lipara menichse Yisayim, one who comes to collect from the nichse Yisayim when they're the Yisayim ketanim, somebody who comes to collect from Yisayim the ketanim, lo yipara ela b'shvor. He can only collect with the shvor. First of all, he says from the Nirsei Ketanim, there's 2 reasons why you cannot collect from them. Number one, there's a Papa. So he says Papa says that the reason was because that they're not mechuyev in the mitzvah of paying back a chayiv as Ketanim. And Avhuna says because they're not shaykh yet to fight, to give the tainas. So it says that somebody wants to collect, and the only exception that you can collect from Yisrael Ketanim is if it's being eaten up by ribis. So then the apotropis comes in and we try to make him pay up the Yisayim, pay up the karka. Well, the chatchila you can't collect from the Nichsi Yisayim. So somebody's coming to collect from the Nichsi Yisayim. Lo Yipara, the only way he can collect his chayv is only with a shvur, and he didn't want to make a shvur. Why? Because he wanted to avoid a shvur. Ella, so he said, in order that he should be able to collect this chayv without swearing, Ech b'shei lishta mashkanta. I'll hide. And Lamed Beis Amar Alva. Ech b'shei.
The first stuff of the first.
The fifth line. Ella ach b'shei lishta mashkanta. I'll hide the shta mashkin, which it says that I got this karka as a mashkin to deduct my chayv from.
Show it to the second one.
I won't show it like this. I'll say it's mine. The oichla shir zuzi, and I'll eat and I'll use this karka weiter to pay up my second chayv. And he'll say he's not going to show the star, because if he shows the star, it was only for the first chayv. It had nothing to do with the second chayv. It's going to show it's a different chayv, and plus he doesn't want people to think like this. Now he's going to be able to say the migu. He has a migu, the ibina. If I wanted, I mean, I could have said lekucha ibiyadi. I bought it from your father. He says like this because there's no star showing that it belonged to the father. And he has a chazaka. He had 3 years of chazaka while the father was alive. Wait, the Gemara is going to ask that. Meanwhile, he has 3 years of chazaka while the father was living. So mehemna, so he would have been believed without a shvur, without a shvur, because he has a chazaka of 3 years. And also there's a halacha that ain't nishbayin al karkois. It's his karka. Now you want I should swear about my karka? It's a chazaka. Once I have a chazaka, or once a person has a star about a karka, he doesn't have to swear al karka. That's the halacha. So he wouldn't have to swear. He would say that's what the Rashbam brings down. He says that he could have said, and they wouldn't be mechayvim even a shvus heses
Because he has a chazaka.
because it's karka. Others say no. A shvus heses tastes it, and the Rishonim hold. Even though midin Torah you cannot make him swear on karka which he has a chazaka or karka which he has a star, but shvus heses we can make him swear. But in this case we won't be able to make him swear shvus heses. Why not? So Taisa says because he says she'ein adam chai shvus heses ela kishu nitva betainas body dahainu betainas vadois. That it's only if the Yisayim are coming with a tainas vadai that it belongs to the father.
Maybe they're still Ketanian?
But the Yisayim cannot bring proof for sure that he didn't buy it from the father, so they don't have proof. So it's not a tainas vadai. If it's not a tainas vadai, you can't make him swear. He's going to say 2 lies over here. 2 lies. Number one, he's going to say.
Number 2,
I have a chazaka,
but
a chazaka and a star doesn't matter. But when you're dealing with karka, you don't make a person swear. Others say even with the abundance, he won't make him swear.
No, I
Taisa says, but Taisa says even if it was midabana, you would make him swear shvus heses. Here he wouldn't have to swear shvus heses. Why? Because this shvus heses. A shvus heses can only be mechayiv somebody if you're coming against him with a tainas vadai. Here the Yisayim don't know for sure that he didn't buy it from their father, so it's not a tainas vadai.
Are these things that they're still Ketanim or it's already dated?
We can even say it's still ketanim, and nevertheless, there's one day that says
he didn't say anything. He's only hiding the star.
he's hiding the star, but he wants to be believed. He says even though if they'll come in, he's not. You're right, but he has a migu. If they would come, he would say, "Look, I could have said."
You don't know what's going on at all.
Right, but he could have said no. He's demanding the field back. So he has a migu. If he wanted, he could have said he bought it. So believe me that there's a second chayv.
He had first a loan. So all the loans you want that you bought it. Everybody
We're going to get to that. So the East Leizuzigabaycho. So now I could have said I bought it. But now when I say that I have a second loan by your father, I want to collect. Mehem nana. We should believe him even without a shvua, because he says, "I just continue to make a chazak in the karka and eat the peiros. I mean, I continue to stay in the karka, eat peiros against the second chayiv, since he has a migu, and if he would have said he bought it, he wouldn't have to swear. So he doesn't want to have to swear now either." Amalei. So Abaye said to Rabbi Shashim, "Here comes your question. L'kulcha b'yadid loy matzis hamrit." To say that he bought it, what's his taina going to be? That I bought it? He has no way of saying he bought it. The ikar lo kola de out of the yasmi. There's already a kola already from before that this karka was a mashkin to pay up the chayv. They knew it belonged to the Yisraelim. So to say that he bought it, it's impossible because there's a koil. And the koil is like a macha, so he should have held. He should have held on to the star. He should have held on to the star. Zagimara Ella rather Abaye said to Rabbi Shashem, Zil ahad nahalayu. Go ahead and return back the karka to the Yisraelim. V'chi gadli yasmi, when the Yisraelim become adults. So number one, he couldn't collect because they were Yisraelim ketanim. Like I told you, there's a machlekes between Rav Huna and Rav Papa. Why can't you collect from Yisraelim ketanim? Rav Papa said because Priyas chayiv is a mitzvah, and to pay back a chayiv is a mitzvah. Now they're ketanim, so they're not mechuyev in the mitzvah, or because they don't have yet the koyach of being able to fight against with tightness. So anyway, so you're going to have to wait till they become adults. So he got a double whammy. Nishda, that he's going to have to swear, he's also going to have to wait. You see, he told him, if he got yasmi, when the Yisraelim become adults, then you'll try to collect your chayiv. You'll go to din with them, and then you'll collect your chayiv with a shvua. So two things: you're going to have to swear, and plus you're going to have to wait till they become adults.
And they have to return the karka.
Yeah, he has to return right away the karka. The relatives of Rabbi Ida bar Abin Shachiv had passed away. Veshavak Dikla, and he left over a date tree. Rabbi Ida bar Abin said, "Ana karev netvei. I am more of a relative than that other person. I'm a closer relative, so give me the date tree." Who gavra? And that person who argues and he says, "No, he says, Ana karev netvei. I'm more of a karev, and the date tree has to go to me."
They were both cousins or something?
They're both relatives. I don't know how to this dead person. Maybe one from the father, one from the mother. Yeah, let's say, at the end, the other person, after having the karka, he was made that he's more of a karev, and it belongs to Rabbi Ida bar Abin. Huh? He's not made it. He says, so we're soon going to see what the gear says. Rav Chizda said, "Okay, put it in Rabbi Ida bar Abin, give it back to Rabbi Ida bar Abin." What happened? Rabbi Ida bar Abin said to Rav Chizda, let him also pay back the fruits. Not just he should give me back the tree. He had the tree for a couple of years with the fruits. Give me back the money.
He has to pay for it.
He has to pay for it. Rav Chizda said, this is what they say about you, that you're a great person. It's known that Sai Chia and Sai Rav Idi, they were both bar Ovin. Rav Idi bar Ovin and Rav Chia bar Ovin, they were brothers. His father was a simple person, a business person. And one of the Tanaim said, if you'll be careful with candles, I don't remember, you'll have Gedolim. And they were called Gedolim, his children. He was careful.
So what was he doing with the father?
I don't know. It says if you'll be careful with candles. I don't remember what the exact details were. So the Gemara, Aman Kosamech Mar. He was asking him, Master, and who are you relying on that you should be able to collect your money? Ahai, on this guy that he was minded to you. And he said that he's a closer relative. So there's two ways of.
Why was he minded?
So there's two ways of looking at it. The Chasam Sefer says, look, L'chatchila, there was called Alam Gvar, right? He won, he got it. So Aziz Gipaskin won the din, so he was already Miyayish. So he was Miyayish already on all the payers. Now that he was made to him, So it's a new deal. So he gives him the treat, but what happened in the past, you already miyayish. That's one pshat. Another pshat is that one of the Gesayis that's brought down in Rashbam is that he brought Eidim. Rav Idi Barbam only brought Eidim that he's a Karev. Not that he's a bigger Karev, that he's a Karev. And the other guy didn't have Eidim. So being that this guy brought Eidim, they gave it to him because he had more of a more proof. But it didn't. But did he prove that he's more of a Karev? No. So since he didn't prove that he's more of a Karev, he has no rights to the Peiris. He had it before, so whatever Peiris he ate is his, because it could be he's more of a Karev, and it could be he could tiny he never even ate. I mean, he has a migo, he could have said anything. But Per Mamish, the only thing that Ravidi Barabam had is Eidim that he's a Karev, that's all. That's the gist of the Hashbam. Some Sefer says, sie kommt ihm nicht der Peiris, weil hat schon Miyayish given. When there was Kol Alam Gvar, we paskin that it belongs to the person who won. So he already gave David Barabban understood that he lost, and whatever pennies he ate, he was already miyayish. Okay, so that's what Rav Chizda told him. Listen, you don't deserve the payers. Abai V'Rava disagreed with him. This that Rav Chizda said. Rather, they said Kivan the Eidei, since that person, meaning Rav Idi Barabban, is more of a karev. The other person was made that he's a karev. That means if he was made, okay.
The other one didn't have no edus.
So
Right? The other one didn't have no edus.
he's made that he was really the Alam Gvar. He was the really left after closer, but he was the Vadei Karev versus him that he didn't have Eidim. So he was made that the payers belongs to him also. He himself was made that. So if that he took it like it did, that's how we're going to learn according to that Gisa. Since he was made that he took it like it did, I took it like it didn't. So then I owe the payers. He has to pay for the payers also. That's what Abai V'Rava is saying. Another case. This one says it was my father, this karka was my father's and I inherited it from him. And this, or Lavdaka, two brothers, two different people. They're arguing different fathers. We're talking about different fathers. Each one says, each one says it's my father and I inherited it. And this one says it's my father and I inherited it. Hi, I see Sadeh. The first one brought, let's say Reuben brought Edis that it was his father's. And the second one only brought 8 days that he ate there 3 years. Yeah, very similar. But here the difference is the Rashbam says that the person who brought 8 days that it was his father's, that his father never sold it also. It's his father's v'shaloi machrua. He never sold it. And nevertheless, Rav Chizda is going to say he still has a migo. Even though it's the person who has a chazaka, we're still going to say. The other person only brings Eidim that he was there 3 years as a chazaka, but there was no Eidim that he had inherited the karka from his father. Rav Chizda said, Rav Chizda says he has a migo. The one that has a chazaka, the one that brought Eidim, that he was there for 3 years, has a migo. If he wanted Amalei, he could have said, I bought it from you, meaning from the Yiddish himself. And I had eaten 3 years of chazaka. So he's saying it's his father's. He's saying it's his father's, because I ate 3 years of a chazaka. And he says, believe me that it's my father's, because if I want, I could have said I bought it from him because I had 3 years of chazaka. So Abai V'Rava argued, Abai V'Rava is saying, no. They don't hold up Rav Chizda that he has a migo, because it's a migo b'makamedim. What's his first time? He says it's my father's. That's his first time. You want to believe him with a migo that he could have said? He bought it from him. But what the first time that he's saying that it's my father's is going against the other person who has Eidim. So his first time is against Eidim. The other guy has Eidim, it's his father's. Dafke his father, and his father never sold it to him.
He has a chazaka, but this guy has chazaka.
This only has a chazaka, but you want to believe him with a chazaka that he could have said he bought it from him himself, from the Yiddish. But what is he saying? The first tiners were so his first tiner, when he said it's shalavosai, he was going against Adam. The other guy had Adam that it was his father's. So that's called a miga b'makam Adam. If his first tiner is going against Adam, I don't care if you have a miga, it's not going to help. It's miga b'makam Adam.
Before that, when he says that it's my outfit, it's like I bought it, and that's what we said.
Before he could have said he bought it from the father, or my father bought it from your father. He could have said a lot of things. Here he couldn't say that.
This is what he needed. This is my outfit, and it's like we said.
It's like I bought it from my father, right? But here you can't. He says my father. He made it clear. It's not. There's no. Maybe you can't even say that here because he made it clear that it's my father. And he never sold it to your father. It's completely, there's no even havamina to say that it's your father. So maybe in such a case he wouldn't be able to give perushim on that. We said only if he could find an excuse and it's not so contradictory. Here it's more contradictory.
You have to have proof.
Yeah. There was this person who said to his friend, my boys, what are you doing in this land? It's mine. Amalei. So the Machzik said, Minach zavni ma'achalta shnei chazaka. He says, I bought it from you, and I had eaten there for 3 years. Azal, this Machzik went, he was only able to bring Adam that he ate 2 years. The third year, he couldn't find Adam for the third year. Rav Nachman said, he has to say, return the land and the fruits that he had eaten. Yeah, because he never had a chazakah. Because he only brought Adam for 2 years. If you don't have the full Adam, so you go back to the Cheskes Marakama, and it belongs to the Marakama. Omer Avzid said, but a different case, ton, if the Machzik Tainet. Omer Lepedes Yeradati. I came down to just collect my share. I'm a sharecropper. I'm an oris. He says, I'm here in the field just to collect my fruits as a commission. I'm a worker here, and for working, I get 50% or a quarter of all the produce, and that's what I'm here for. So Gimada Naman, he's believed.
If he would have timed it instead of what he said before, or
Yeah, if he wouldn't now, he's not saying it's my field, it's my father's field. Now he says, I'm here in the field, I'm collecting because I'm an oris, I'm a sharecropper, and as an oris, I deserve 50% of 25.
That I have years of chazaka because he knew that he only has 2 years.
Okay, that's now it's a new case. This is a new case. We can't say that, we're not connecting to the previous case. And what's taka the makkah to this that he's believed? Says Yomara Lav Mi Yom Rabbi Yehuda. Didn't Rabbi Yehuda say, "Hai man de nokit magla v'tuvalya"? This person who takes a sickle and a rope to be able to hang from the tree because the date trees are very high. So you have to climb up, and you have rope or a ladder. So he says, "V'ama ezel dikla the planya the zavne nahali." I'm going now to cut off the dates from the date tree of that person because he sold me part of the fruits of that field. Muhammad is going to be believed because loy chatzef inish, because a person doesn't have the chutzpah. The gaza dikla the lav delay to cut dates of a tree that's not his. So he says a person is believed when he goes into a field. You know, you go on YouTube. There's a guy who goes with a ladder, and he goes in everywhere. He goes into the movie theater. He just comes with a ladder. He doesn't need a ticket. He looks like he's one of the workers. He has some tools. He just puts down the ladder, sits down in the seat, and watches the video. But he goes everywhere. He can get into any ballroom meetings. Just comes with a ladder. That's it. So here, I meant why? Because I mentioned the chutzpah to go into somebody's field and have
This guy does
okay.
Oh,
1 minute.
You shouldn't go and collect somebody's houses
Zog the
without permission or something.
Yeah.
You have to make an appointment, like going for a Shabbos meal.
Yeah. Hanami over here also here also, if he ate the fruits for 2 years, obviously, why was he eating? Because he was a worker. He was getting a commission. That's the reason why he was getting it. So that's what we believe in. So, in fact, the Gemara but the Gemara says, But if the if the balabas comes and says, get out, what are you doing here? Chutzpah, bring me proof. Then he can't continue. Why? Why can't he continue? But, it's a machot, but I lechera loy chatzavinish. We say because if we're going to let him continue, so Yemos it won't be even chutzpah, because people will say, hey, they're never allowed to question me. If I have the guts, they cut off Yadnas Beiris in his field, and you're not allowed to question me, so it's a shemanish chutzpah. So in order to keep it as a chutzpah, that we say if the guy protests, he could stop him. Because if not, any person, I'll come into your field. Hey, I'm allowed to. You have to believe me. That's chutzpah what I'm doing. You have to let me. It doesn't work that way. Because the Rebbe says, hey, it's chutzpah. In fact, the Gemara Yehachi, if so, Aranami, one who's machzik in the karka of his friend, and he says he bought it, he should be believed. A person does not. What do you need even a chazaka? What do you need 3 years of chazaka? A person goes into somebody's field and he makes himself comfortable. That's the biggest chutzpah on 2 feet. So why do we make him have a chazaka with a shtar? If he loses the shtar, the chazaka, he has to have chazaka of 3 years. Why? Zakt the Yibara, Ara, buy land, Amrina le achve shtarcha. But when it comes to land, we say to the machzik, hey, what are you doing here? It's my house. Show me a shtar that it's yours, that you bought it for me. That's by Ara. So that's why you can't just because you did doesn't make it yours. Because it's the derech for a person to come in and say, it's my field, and you have to show me it's mine. Show me a shtar. By fetus to the fruits also. Let him say, achvi shtarcha. Why don't you say that? That ashtar for payers to show a deed that you have a chelik in the payers of the field, that's not demanded
People
of the
write
person.
stars for that?
No, people don't write. It's not. People don't write ashtar for having a schus in the payers of that field.
Pay legal fees.
So that's why when he says lepedis yiradati, I came here to collect as a sharecropper. He doesn't have to show a stock. That's not the. And we say automatically if he's eating the payers, a person we believe because ain't adam chatzif. But if he protests and he says it's my field, he's gonna have to stop. The next one is already continuing to the next page, so that would be the next block. We'll have to stop.